it's obvious to non-experts like me that, Gary Gensler is obviously corrupt. I mean, that was clear,
Right.
but it was his motives were less clear. Like, what was that? What was his goal?
Part of this is a turf war. He wanted his agency to get more power, even if he didn't want to do anything with it except block industries. Why did he make everyone register with him? Well, he loses power, otherwise, even if he didn't know what to do with them. There are lots of stories about him, being very politically ambitious and feeling like if he could, get on CNBC enough, make a big enough stink about things, raise his profile, that, maybe be Treasury Secretary, something like that in the future. And he was remarkably successful. Like he became sort of one of the few faces of democratic financial regulation.
A lot of people upset about the announcement of the Bitcoin reserve, the digital asset stockpile. We'll talk about what it is, but while it might not be exactly what they were looking for, I would remind them where we came from. That opening clip, Tucker Carlson, Sam Bankman-Fried, talking about, the corruption of Gary Gensler, the fact that he and Elizabeth Warren just wanted to seize control of this asset class. And they might not even had anything in mind other than just to stifle innovation and to crush cryptocurrencies. And now we have days like today. This is an entirely new world. As I had predicted, they're not going to be buying crypto on the open market, at least to start. But the formation of both the Bitcoin reserve and the digital asset stockpile, you're just a stone's throw away from government going onto the open market and starting to acquire. I think that will come in time. This is just the opening volley. And you're going to have other countries that are going to do the same here. And they may not have as much crypto as the United States does through civil forfeitures, through seizures, through criminal cases, all the different ways that the U.S. has acquired quite a bit of cryptocurrency, quite a bit of Bitcoin. And these other countries, they may start actually acquiring to build their own stockpiles up. This, again, is just the very first move. And long term, what assets will they want? Well, it'll be the most useful assets, the most valuable assets, the ones that, us regular people are investing in over time. Those that show the most value will make their way into these mechanisms. And I'm not so worried about day one, what we find in those, in the reserve and the stockpile. It's not really relevant. Just the formation of them is totally bullish for this industry. We take a look at prices, and this happens a lot within cryptocurrencies, right? Buy the news, sell the event type of thing. But Bitcoin is down about 5%, sitting at 87,000. We're at a good spot here, people. We're at a great spot for a historic run. We just need a little bit of runway here. Ethereum down about 0.5%. XRP, again, just about break even. Nothing major going on there. It's pretty flat. It's pretty flat across the altcoins. Bitcoin down the most. And I think most of your Bitcoin maxis were hoping to hear that the U.S. government was going to start YOLOing all of our capital into the Bitcoin market, and that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen today, at least. We see this breakdown here. So just a few moments ago, President Trump signed an executive order to establish the Bitcoin reserve. Big moment in history. Announced the U.S. won't sell any Bitcoin it holds. So, the U.S. has a lot of Bitcoin, and from time to time, they will sell it onto the market. This is bullish. This means less supply spitting onto markets, of course. And they are recognizing Bitcoin as digital gold. Now, they established a digital asset stockpile for your altcoins. And I see people saying, oh, they don't have any XRP, they don't have any Cardano. You're wrong. They have a lot of the major cryptocurrencies, and they're going to go into this stockpile. And what I think is so important here, in the past, it would have been just Bitcoin. That would have been all it was about, maybe some Ethereum. This is at least showing respect to the whole crypto space. We are included in this, maybe a little bit differently. And I think that's appropriate for where we find ourselves today. But we can grow into an even footing, a better footing. It just takes a little time. And reaffirming the commitment to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. This is bullish. We're having this big event tomorrow, this meeting in Washington of a lot of the major crypto players, the executives, big representatives from major crypto companies to sit there and discuss policy. And that's going to continue to happen. They're going to continue to have these events. And that's important because they're going to have direct communication with the current administration. When issues pop up, they'll be able to communicate it clearly and really overcome obstacles. I think, much quicker. Now, we see this, the statement that broke the crypto market tonight. This is what people didn't like. The government will not acquire additional assets for the stockpile beyond those obtained through forfeiture proceedings. I think it's the perfect place for right now. I don't think this is the time for the government to start buying cryptocurrencies. It's going to bring a lot of negative attention to this space. Remember, reminds me of back in the days of Satoshi, where you had WikiLeaks. They were going to start accepting Bitcoin, and Satoshi's like, play this slow. Don't bring too much attention to this space. We can grow into this technology over time. It's the same thing here. You don't want a bunch of negative press. We have trillions of dollars in debt. Should we be buying cryptocurrencies, very volatile assets? No, but this is an important first step. And again, I think we will see a shift at some point in time where they do start acquiring crypto and beyond just Bitcoin. Brian Armstrong saying the following: incredible execution from the Trump administration and a historic moment for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That was so important to include the broader crypto market in this announcement. Yes, Bitcoin gets the main billing. It's the number one cryptocurrency, but we're not ignoring the rest of the space. And I think that is a huge shift that most people are missing here. And this is what he says, and I agree with him. I expect many of the G20's countries to take notice and eventually follow American leadership. So you should see other countries forming very similar things to the reserve. And again, someone's going to start buying. Watch what's going to happen. Someone will jump into this market and start, aggressively acquiring these assets, and that's going to send everything parabolic. Michael Saylor saying the U.S. now has the world's largest strategic Bitcoin reserve. It's the same Bitcoin they already had, but again, there's the intention behind it and behind their commitment to crypto that is so important. Now, Eleanor Terrett putting out her list. I've seen a lot of these lists, but I trust her. I think she's done some research here about who will be going to this event Friday at the White House, this crypto summit. We see Brad Garlinghouse there. And I assumed he was going to be there, but I was reading some reports he wasn't, some reports said he was. And, Ripple's going to be a big player here because it's not just their contributions to Fair Shake, but they started that new not-for-profit, which part of that will be funding crypto candidates and different political things for cryptocurrencies, along with education and adoption and things like this. So, Ripple's going to be right up there with this administration as they try to secure a successful midterm election here. They're going to be a big funder of pro-crypto candidates. And best case scenario, I think this brings both sides of the aisle to the table here. It's not going to be good to be anti-crypto because most people out there, either you're, a crypto enthusiast and you're all about it, or you really don't care about it. There's not really much advantage to being a villain of cryptocurrencies. You're not going to pick up much votes like that, but you sure will push a lot of people away from you. So ultimately, this is going to be a very bipartisan issue, in my opinion. And again, we have a lot of people from Robinhood to Gemini, Crypto.com. All sorts of people at this event. I did hear that Charles may not be invited to this, but again, he's working directly with a lot of lawmakers. He's going to have a big impact here, and I think he's doing great work. I don't care if he goes to this summit or not a major deal. Joseph Lubin telling everyone, hey, don't worry. Ethereum, they're dealing with politicians, and I believe they are. Behind the scenes, of course. We know they like to meet with the SECs, have little secret deals, meet with politicians, make little secret deals. I have no doubt Joe Lubin has been very busy. Maybe not as publicly as some, but he's been busy. You best believe that. Ethereum Consensus is spending tons of time and I'm sure money in Washington. I am very happy with how many legislators and regulators understand and appreciate that why Bitcoin is digital gold, Ethereum is the only current legitimate candidate to become the main substrate platform for decentralized United States and global economy. I haven't heard anyone from the Trump administration agree with that statement or state it publicly. I do notice that the president is acquiring Ethereum like wild, but, again, I suspect Joe Lubin's there doing his thing behind the scenes. We understand that. Now, lastly, this is a big announcement from SWI saying we're excited to announce a partnership with World Liberty. Of course, that's the president's crypto company there. And World Liberty will include SWI and its strategic token reserve designed to bolster leading Web3 projects. Also, WLFI and SWI have begun exploring product development opportunities. So again, this is one of your big up-and-coming crypto projects. We're in the top 15 now. It will be a top 10 before the end of this thing for sure. I think a lot of great growth ahead of us for this project. Price has been down a bit, but what hasn't been down here recently? Where are we at Sui? Let's see. Number 16. So I was wrong. It's not a top 15 any longer, but it's gonna blow right past Stellar, Chainlink, Tron, Doge. It's better than a lot of these coins that are ranked ahead of it right now. Sui's gonna be a big time performer. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.